Ribs in the oven. Let me show you how easy this is. Let's get started with another rib recipe, but this one's gonna be a little bit different for me and you both. It's a brisk 20 degrees outside this morning, and I sure don't feel like firing up a grill. So what am I gonna do? It's time to cook some ribs in an oven. Let's get these ribs started in our brand new kitchen. Now, I'm not ready to give you a full tour yet, but I can tell you we're real close. Now, these St. Louis ribs have already been trimmed up, already have the membrane removed off the back. If you don't know how to do that, I've got several videos that shows you how to do it. So, I've already got a rack here on a foil pan. And I guess since I touched this meat, I better pull this glove off and I don't cross-contaminate anything. But I'm gonna use a little bit of mustard as a binder. It's totally up to you if you don't want to. You can use a binder, you can not, you can spritz it with water. Totally up to you. Now these ribs today, I'm gonna cook them just like I would my comp style ribs because I'm very familiar with this flavor profile. I've cooked it a lot. And so, but I never have cooked ribs in the oven. I'm not gonna say my grandmother didn't when I was younger a few times, you know, and she boiled ribs and done things like that. But I can tell you, I really feel like these ribs are gonna turn out great in the oven. I'm just gonna kind of follow the same process that I would on the grill, and we'll see how they turn out together. Now I'm gonna get this backside seasoned down, kind of pat it in some, turn it over, repeat the process, get them on my rack. And I would say time for some smoke, but let's say time for some heat. Now that we've got it all rubbed down, I'm gonna take and just press in just a little bit here, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and pick them up and kind of transfer them over to my cooling rack here. Now I'm gonna bunch them up just a little bit, kind of get them all set straight. Take this glove off. We've got our oven heated up to 300 degrees. I had to check it. I couldn't remember what I set it at. We're gonna go with 300 today and see how it goes. I'm gonna get them in the oven, give them 1 hour, and then I'll take a peek at them. Let's get started. All right, let's get them in our oven here. Now I'm going on the bottom rack, and I'm going in just like this. Now I've got them on that cooling rack there, and the reason I've got them on that cooling rack, you want a little bit of heat to be able to circulate under the bottom of them, and when they really start cooking and rendering that fat, you want them that grease and everything to drip in that pan and not get in your oven. So these ribs might take a little bit longer because there's not a lot of gap in between it. I probably could have took some foil, set them up a little bit more to get more under it. So it's any kind of an idea like that you can use. You can take a couple little bricks and place in the corners or on it to raise them up. Anything you want to do. I'm not doing any of that today. I just got them in the oven, gonna let them cook. Now let's set a timer. Alexa, set a timer for 1 hour. All right, we're 1 hour into our ribs. Let's get in the oven and take a peek at them. Ooh, look at that. They look good. Now, I'm gonna spin them around and get them on this top rack and get a little more color locked into these things. Let's get that shut. I'm gonna let them go about 30 minutes this time since I moved them to the top rack and check them out. Alexa, set a timer for 30 minutes. We'll be back. All right, our ribs have been in the oven actually almost 2 hours. Let's get them out and take a look at them. Now, we moved them up to that top rack an hour ago and I just let them go. These look incredible. And with the moisture the way they are and everything else, I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't think I'm gonna wrap them. This big rib says it's sitting about 182, 183, 185, 186 right now. This thinner rib is saying that, but that's not true. You can get off in there. Yeah, it's going on down now. So I'm just gonna let these things ride it out, honestly. I'm gonna let them go about another 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna check them, or another 20, about another 20 minutes, and I'm gonna give them a check. I'm gonna move them back down to the bottom rack this time. So we had an hour on the bottom, an hour on top, and now I'm going back to an hour on the bottom, 300 degrees, and I'm gonna keep them going. I'm gonna check them in about 20 minutes, see where the temp's at. We might do a little bit of a glaze on them. We'll be back. All right, let's make some sauce up for these ribs in the oven. First off, I'm gonna use a little bit of my sweet sauce, okay? Don't need a lot because we don't have but 2 racks. I'm gonna use a little bit of my competition style sauce. Really about half and half is what you want. Okay. And then we're gonna use a little bit of this cherry apple glaze. And you know, from what I hear, a lot of guys in competition barbecue that's running this combo right here is doing very good in chicken and ribs. I'm just saying, don't hold me to that. I'll call it a day. Let's take a look at our ribs. Now, our ribs have been in the oven 300 degrees for 2.5 hours total. Now, we've peeked at them several times. You see, we're starting to get a little bit of bone pulled back. That rib said it's hitting about 190 right there. I'm pretty sure that rib is gonna be tender. I mean, just by feeling of it right there. I think these ribs are gonna be perfect where they need to be for a good eating rib. I'm gonna leave it alone since we didn't wrap them today. And I'm gonna paste some sauce on them. As you can see, the back of this rib looks just like the front of this rib. It did not get as much color to it because it was on the bottom, but that's what we want to turn these over for. A lot of people don't turn their ribs over and paint the bottom. I think they're missing an extra step when you don't do that. Now, if you hadn't seen me paint these ribs up directly out of the oven, you wouldn't know they come out of the oven. Let's pop them back in here, set that sauce up, let it get a little tacky, pull them out and slice them. All right, let's give it about 10 minutes. All right, our ribs are out of the oven, not off the grill. Let's just see if this rib is tender, because besides flipping it over, I have not touched it. Pick it up. I'm gonna tell y'all something, that rib there's got a wave, it's got a jiggle for sure. And so I know that rib is gonna, no, ain't no doubt in my mind. Ooh. That is warm, very warm. I'm gonna pull that off. And I'm going right down here. Look at this right here. Moisture, see that moisture in that rib? This is a Prairie Fresh Prime, St. Louis cut rib. Let's go in here and get a bite of it. Perfect bite through. Perfect texture. I taste the rub, I taste the sauce, but these could definitely use a kiss of smoke from me. But in a pinch, cooking ribs in an oven, or when it's a cold day outside, or you don't want to go outside and enjoy yourself, these no-wrapped oven-baked ribs are really good. And there's a lot of people that don't have a grill or a smoker at home. You can do this recipe in the oven as you see, easy as you please. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to follow along and share it with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course, YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video after I finish this rib. Got that rib jingle. That's what we looking for. Y'all ever seen a rib do a belly dance? Makes me kind of tingly.